Hey friends, welcome back to another Wellness Wednesday video. I am on the porch again. It's been a while since I've done a Wellness Wednesday on the porch. It is cold, but the sun is shining, so I decided I'd brave it. It's actually kind of nice out here. So first off, before I get started with like the regular Wellness Wednesday stuff, I wanted to say a big thank you to those of you who have sent Christmas cards and Christmas gifts this year. It is always so much fun when I get the notification that I have something at my mailbox and to go and see the things that you guys send. I've gotten some sweet gifts and gift cards and cards. It's just really, really fun. I haven't found a perfect type of video where I consistently, like say thank you to people that send me stuff or do shout outs and things. So I figured this Wellness Wednesday was as good as any. Maybe eventually I'll get that figured out and have it be a more regular thing, because I do really, really appreciate getting all the fun cards and things that you guys send. It means a lot to me. So this Wellness Wednesday, I think, is probably going to be pretty quick because I don't have a lot to update on. That's just how a lot of the time in our wellness journeys is. There's not always like some big revelation or test results or, new diagnoses, thankfully. It's just sometimes the journey is just, kind of boring. And you kind of just have to put your head down and keep going and just get through and live life. Like it's not always some big dramatic story to tell. I know on YouTube, it's tempting to want every video that you make to be like some huge deal, kind of like the whole clickbait thing. It's like you want it to be enticing enough for people to click on. Otherwise, they don't click on it. So, but that's not really how life is. Not every video that I post can be a clickbaitable title. And that's just life. So anyways, not a lot to update on. It is the holidays, and so that comes with its own not struggles, but just differences and challenges as far as, delicious food that's around and making the choice about what you're going to eat based on wanting to enter into different social things or prioritizing feeling your absolute best. And I feel like this year, over the last couple of years, I'll say there's been a lot of stress reduction in that area for me. The sun was getting in my face and I had to move just a little bit. So I feel like I've grown a lot in that area. And I think part of it is just getting certain health issues taken care of. I think nutrient deficiencies were a big thing with me having cravings and not ever feeling satisfied and full before, which just adds to that, guilt and shame cycle and overeating and, wanting to purge cycle, or like overeating and then undereating to try to make up for it. Like, I just feel like I'm so far out of that now just because of the things I have figured out about my health and gotten taken care of. So I'm really thankful for that. So it's not, again, it's not this dramatic thing where I have to come on here and tell you how hard I'm struggling and I'm white knuckling it through and all of these temptations that I've had to, fight, or these areas where I, gave in to temptation. I just don't have that to share anymore, which for me, that's a good thing. I'm really thankful for that. I will say that having the CGM on, I have my second one on right now that expires in just a couple of days. But that has been really, really eye-opening. I did do a video where I talked about, after the 2 weeks was finished with my first one, just about what I had learned with that. So I've kind of already said this, but it has been very interesting to just see what my body does as far as blood sugar response. Obviously, there's more involved than just blood sugar, but as far as blood sugar response, what my body does when I do eat a little bit off of what my baseline diet is normally. And I've been, happy with it. It hasn't been anything to be super concerned about. But at the same time, I am realizing that I can't do that very often because it's like my average blood sugar when I eat normally is somewhere in the mid to upper 80s. And if I have a day where I eat extra carbs, an extra, treat meal or whatever, it pushes my average blood sugar for the day up into the 90s. And it takes me a couple of days to get it back down into the 80s after that. And if I were to, have a special higher carb meal every 3 days or 4 days, that's putting my average blood sugar in the 90s basically all the time, which is still not terrible. It's not bad, but for me, I know that I don't feel my best when my blood sugars are there. And so it's just kind of interesting thinking about when I make this decision to have this higher carb thing, which I still do. I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily, but I do like to have all the information along with it so that I can make the best decision in the time. But when I, eat something that's higher carb or have a treat, I am now aware that it's not just affecting that day. It's like we oftentimes have that mindset where, I'll just go off track for today and I'll start fresh again tomorrow. But for me, it's like, if I do that, it's going to affect me for about 3 days. So it just, gives me more information that I can take into consideration when I am making those decisions. I'm still taking my SIBO killing supplements, getting closer to the end with that. And I think probably starting January, right at the beginning of January, which is pretty convenient because everyone's dieting at that point. Right at that point, I'm going to stop the supplements. I'm going to stop the yogurts, and for 2 weeks, not take any of the supplements, not eat any of the yogurts. And then I will be able to do my SIBO breath test, and it'll be interesting to see where I'm at with that. And I'm thinking at the beginning of January, I might do some kind of a carnivore 2 weeks, that 2 weeks where I'm not eating the yogurt. I might do some kind of a carnivore cleanse. I kind of use carnivore as a cleanse for me now. I used to use the Whole30 as that, but it just kind of gets my digestion back to baseline and gives me a clean slate. And it's just good for me to do it every once in a while. So I'm thinking towards maybe doing that. Let me know if you guys are planning towards doing something like that for January. The whole idea of starting a diet in January can get a bad rap from people. And obviously there are ways that you can do that in an unhealthy way. But I think the rhythm of feast and, I don't want to say famine, but feast and then leaner times, I think is a really normal pattern in life. I think we naturally fall into it, or we have naturally fallen into that in other times, not in the Western world, because we can live in feast mode 24/7, 365 days of the year. But in most other times throughout history, you just naturally had feasting times and more leaner times. And so having the holidays be, as long as you're not, just being gluttonous and overdoing it to the point of unhealth, but just having it be a time where we enjoy more treat foods and just more food in general. I think that's fine, depending on how your body handles it. My body handles it pretty well. And then moving into a time where you're a little bit more focused on, just having it be a little leaner. And I don't mean leaner as in lower fat necessarily, just leaner as in less exciting food, the opposite of feasting. Eating for nutrition only and not so much for pleasure. And then, adding in more exercise, doing stuff like that. I think that kind of a rhythm is actually very, very normal in human history, and not something that I just reject. Like the idea that you should eat the exact same way on a holiday that you do on just a normal Tuesday. I kind of don't. That doesn't work with my lifestyle. So anyways, I am thinking towards doing some kind of a carnivore-ish cleanse in conjunction with finishing up my SIBO protocol in January. Let me know what you guys are thinking of doing for that. I'd be interested to hear, what your kind of rhythm is for this time of the year. And I think that's really all I have to share for this Wellness Wednesday. Like I said, probably a short one. Just living life, just doing the things, and it's not going to be clickbait worthy. It's just life. So that's it from me. I hope you guys are doing great, and I'll see you again in the next video.